Good morning. It is November 25th. It's almost Thanksgiving here in the US, but we still were able to fit in one more Taco Tuesday for the holiday. I am excited today to be joined by two of our vendor partners to talk about the resources that they have for our members. So joining us first is a new face to me, somebody I'm just meeting literally now in real time, Nicole, coming to us from Bloomsbury. Nicole, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, but are you about ready to take over?
Yes. Yes, let
Great.
me get that shared. Okay. Can you all see this?
Yes, looks good.
All right, perfect. All right, well, hi everyone, and thank you all so much for joining me today. Just quick intro. My name is Nikki Clayton. I'm the product trainer at Bloomsbury Digital Resources, and today I'm going to talk to you just very briefly about Bloomsbury Video Library. It's a really excellent resource for all of your students and scholars in the humanities. So I will take you over to the homepage. So the homepage of the database is designed with really wonderful drop-down sections at the top. So ease of accessibility is right here with just the click of your mouse. And you'll see that if I click on collections, there are eight collections on the platform. This Arts and Humanities collection here, it's not actually a collection. It's what combines five collections. So it's a different way for institutions to subscribe. So Arts and Humanities is comprised of the dance collection, the film and media collection, history and culture, music, and visual and applied arts. So it's not actually a collection, it's just a different way to subscribe to five collections at once. And all of the collections on the platform are available via subscription or perpetual access. You can also navigate the collections not just by the drop-down, but also by the tiles here on the home page. And if you go to the Browse By option right here, this is a really great way to also navigate the platform. So if you want to take a look at videos by subject or themes or the creator's place of origin or language, there's a lot of really great language options on the Bloomsbury Video Library platform. You can do that as well. There's an About tab. This is really great for new users. There's a tab for how to use the platform, and there's more information on the editorial advisory board. And there's also a librarians tab. And this is where you can find information on MARC records, promotional materials to let users on your campus know that they have access to the platform. Can't remember if I said usage statistics or MARC records, but there's information there as well. So we'll pivot now and we'll talk about some of the newer collections to the platform. So first, I will talk about the London Symphony Orchestra collections, and there are two of them right now. So first, there is the 2006 to 2020 collection. So within this one, there are over 40 filmed performances, and it includes highlights such as Sir Simon Rattle conducting Beethoven's Christ on the Mount of Olives. There's also Sir Antonio Pappano conducting Sibelius, Bernstein, and Nielsen. And also there's the BMW Classics Live from Trafalgar Square, where Sir Simon Rattle conducts 100 musicians alongside 50 young musicians from the LSO On Track program. Then there's the London Symphony Orchestra Collection 2020 to 2023 collection. This has over 60 film performances, and it includes performances of Barbara Hannigan conducting Vivier and Haydn. There's also one of her conducting and singing at the same time. That's a really excellent performance to watch. You'll also find Mahler's Fifth Symphony here and Haydn's The Creation. The newest London Symphony Orchestra collection is going to launch just next month. It's the 2024 collection, and that's going to feature 16 performances. And I really like to emphasize with these collections, it's so important for music students to have access to these world-class performances That way they can model technique if they're in conducting courses, if they want to model how to conduct a certain movement, or if they're a performance major and they want to take a look at a technique, or maybe, for example, they're a voice major, but they're in a class where they're exposed to instrumental music for the first time and they want to take a look at instrumental techniques that they have never seen modeled before. This is a really great way for them to see those techniques in action. So now I am going to take you over to our next collection, which is the Animator Survival Kit Animated. This is exclusive to the Bloomsbury Video Library platform, and it distills the creative insights of Richard Williams, who's a multi-Oscar winning animator behind Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It includes 10 hours of video content across 16 masterclass videos. It features over 400 specifically animated examples, viewable frame by frame for detailed study. It covers principles of sophisticated animation styles applicable to computer, classical, games, stop motion, and more. So Richard Williams explains how to make characters live, breathe, and give a sustained, commanding performance. So you have the masterclass here where you can see Richard Williams speak to his class. And then below, we have all of these animation examples. So just to show you how that would look like. And something that's really nice within the platform is you have the ability to go forward or backward 10 seconds. So this is especially useful for the animation students if they need to go back quickly and take a look at something again, or if they need to slow something down, they can do that very easily. So this is a go-to resource for animation instruction and an invaluable tool for students and professionals. And last, I just want to take you to the opera collections. So Bloomsbury Video Library offers a rich range of opera collections, fully exclusive and filmed at leading European opera houses. And you can see it's not just a bunch of operas in one. It's broken down by opera or music era. So we have early and Baroque opera. So this features Monteverdi's Orpheus or Orfeo. We have classical opera, which features Mozart's Don Giovanni and Die Zauberflöte, or the Magic Flute. There's romantic opera, which features Puccini's La Bohème, modern opera, which features Puccini's Madame Butterfly, and we have the Glyndebourne Festival Opera. So in here, you'll find 29 performances filmed at the Glyndebourne Festival, and you'll find a lot of the classics here. So the Marriage of Figaro, La Traviata, Don Pasquale. And many of the performances within the opera collections have these supplementary materials. So you'll find the program of the opera and sometimes a synopsis. And I really like to point out that the program is really beneficial for students if they are assigned to watch an opera and they can reference the program and maybe they have to write an analysis. They can reference the program and talk about a certain performer's interpretation of an aria, for example. They have this program to use that in reference. So say if you wanted to do a search very quickly, I'll just type in Beethoven, for example. This will bring us to the search screen. And you'll want to ensure that this box here is checked, only show content, which I have full access to. This will ensure you're only seeing what you are subscribed to. And there's filters on the left side of the screen, so you can tailor your search to themes, time period featured, language, even the creator's place of origin. But really what I want to be sure that you're aware of is probably the best feature of the platform is that you can clip the videos. So for this example, I'm going to use the Beethoven's Christ on the Mount of Olives. So say you're watching the performance and you just want to take a very small clip of it. I just wanted to show you a very brief synopsis or very brief part of the performance. But if you want to take a clip, you hit this clip button, drag it in and out. So say this is the desired clip length I want. All you do is hit generate URL, and then you can copy that to your clipboard, and you can also save it to your personal account within the platform. So this is excellent for faculty who might want to highlight specific moments in the performance for classroom discussion or for students if they have an example to present in class. So as I close today, I hope you've seen something, one of the many features of the Bloomsbury Video Library, and you know how helpful it can be for your students and your scholars. So thank you for joining me, and I encourage you to take a free 30-day trial so that you can explore the platform yourself and discover everything it has to offer. We're positive it'll be a great fit for your institution and your library's collection. And as a reminder, the collections on the platform are available via subscription or perpetual access. And please don't hesitate to reach out with any questions at all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nikki. I always love to see some of these features. I don't think I knew about the ability to kind of save clips that are particularly relevant to, a particular lecture or something. So that's really cool that we can kind of highlight that today. I noticed that Katie has joined us as well. I don't know if Katie wanted to say anything while you're here.
Hi, yes, thank you. Sorry, I wanted to apologize for being a little late. Been a little under the weather this morning, so thank you for letting me join a little bit later. But no, Nikki, you did a fantastic job. Thank you so much for showcasing those new collections. As always, we're happy to answer any questions you have about them. The Bloomsbury Video Library, we're going to continue to add to it, and we offer a lot of content that kind of spans the gamut in terms of subject area on this platform. So which I'm sure Nikki has already mentioned. But if you have any other follow-up questions, please feel free to get in touch with her or I. We're happy to help, her or me.
Great. Thank you so much, Katie. Yes, we please, anyone watching this live or if you're watching the recording, do reach out. You can see Nikki and Katie's email contact information here. You can also always reach out to us here at WiLS at coop@wils.org. And keep an eye on your inboxes. Katie's like rolling specials out to us all the time. We're always kind of trying to promote what's on sale or what might be kind of on a promo or a special. And it seems like there's always something. So if you're looking at Bloomsbury products, which you should be, keep an eye out for what kind of great promotions Katie might have going at any given time. Thanks again, both of you, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.
So let me share my screen again just to get us ready for our next presentation. Joining us for a return visit is Brad Gray, who's going to talk to us about AWE. Brad, I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that you can take over, but I'll say again, if you're here watching the presentation, if you've got any questions for Brad, let us know in the chat. Otherwise, you can always reach out to us here at WiLS. All right, let me stop sharing so Brad can take over.
All right, everybody. Hi, I'm Brad with AWE Learning. I've been on with you before, so I appreciate being able to come back again and be part of the Taco Tuesday. I'm based in Minnesota, and so I applaud you for a great performance. If you're a Packer fan, we didn't play very well this last weekend in Lambeau, which we typically do, so it's kind of a fun thing to start off with. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to give a little bit of a background about AWE Learning for those that are new or that have had our services for a long time to know what we're up to and what we've stuck to. And I'm also going to talk about a new release that we are just launching this week that will address a number of the changes in learning styles and the use of proper technology for our youngest learners. And I will begin. On the left side of the screen, you'll see a presentation, which I've already offered to Jeff, and he's going to route this to everybody and put it on the listserv once we're done. And on the right is actually the new version of the software that AWE Learning offers for the children. So a little bit about us, that we've been in business since 1994, and we started working with public libraries solely to help with early literacy. And that charter has not changed over that period of time. And thousands of libraries and that many more workstations have been put into place since then. And so we're really pleased of the involvement of early literacy in public library programming. And we really appreciate that over 110 Wisconsin libraries have made AWE learning part of their youth services. AWE Learning's programs are all about play-based discovery. So if you know much about education for the very young, play-based learning is really critical, and it's the primary way that children who are unable to read or are not quite old enough for formal education get that foundational learning by just playing, imagining, being creative, and engaging in whatever it is that they're working on. And we've turned that into a safe technology experience with our workstations. And the focus of the workstations is around stream education and introducing the importance of that education from the very beginning, before they can even read or really realize they're actually learning, all the way through early elementary school. And so we provide opportunity for them with a number of different content bundles and so on to help integrate what is important from the technology learning side and the stream education side to your youth services. So we've aligned the technology with so you can align that with story time and with whatever goals you have within the library for programs, makerspace, interactive things, cross-aged collaborations and fun time together. It just fosters digital responsibility and that computational thinking from a very early age, and then sets them up for a better chance for success in school. We have a new version of this program available, and that is basically upgraded as a result of some technology needs in the industry, as well as feedback from our many libraries and our many families who interact with us on a regular basis. So that's what I'm going to cover today, as well as some administrative background that we've been asked to provide to you to make it easier for you to understand the real value and the return on investment. As you know, return on investment is beyond just the financial side of getting what you paid for, but also that you're making a contribution to the value of your children's in your community's education and providing that parity across all the kids, so that it's not those that have home computers that are going to succeed. You're offering them your sustainable opportunities within the library itself. So Platinum for V4 meets that. We've had a number of different versions over time, and they all kind of build on one another. And this one's big takeaways are listed here on the screen, that we've added a lot of additional technology and software titles for the users to discover. Another really important thing in this day of libraries is that it's Windows 11 based. So it has all of the security and the speed and just the ease of use that Windows 11 offers, that many of us have had to adjust to with the ending of Windows support for 10 and below. As we've done that, we've also upgraded our user interfaces, and this is a result of feedback we've gotten for a long period of time to be able to offer the experience of the workstation for those younger users and the non-readers, both in how to differentiate the content just for them, but then also have a screen that's designed for them to be able to get a larger interface for them to be able to see what they're working on. So we've added features like that to the program itself. Beyond the Windows 11 technologies is that we've added the user interfaces for the very young to be able to have a larger icon buttons to punch with their fingers, because it's all touch screen, as well as some custom display options for you to create custom views of the content you have in your collections. And I'll show you that on a screen in a moment, as well as improved user data security that helps us track for you, for statistical purposes, what the child is using and for how long for that meaningful discovery, as well as allowing you this peace of mind that the actual user is still anonymous. So it's anonymous use for those child since they're minors, and we don't really need to be tracking them as individuals beyond the fact that they have access and they can open up any of the software that they want because you know that it's been curated for them for that key age of 2 to 12. We've added some administrative features for scheduling, as well as making it easier to have configurations span across a number of workstations to make it easier for you to manage and update over time. And we've also done this through a consolidated customer portal, which is a fancy term for saying your administrative site that you'll be able to get all your statistics from and know what devices you are and where those devices are deployed across branches, etc., for easier IT management, as well as for you just to know what's being used and where. So I mentioned before, I showed real quickly on the screen that extra tab, that pre-K tab that opens up to reveal the same content that's on the main site, but in a much larger graphical format for those non-readers. This is really a great innovation, and we've had really good reviews on this so far, and it's actually quite fun. So not only does it pull the content already down for that young age group, it also makes it easier for them to see something that intrigues them or that they might remember from the last time they used it and then go for it from there. So this is a really nice feature, and this is included in all configurations. The way the young patron uses the software is that it's typically done with the touch screens. They're just touching the buttons that they want to use, or they have a keyboard or the little mouse that they want. They select it, it opens, and they start using it. There's no login, there's no separate things for all the different software titles to try to figure out what it looks like, how to navigate. It's very consistent across the huge variety of application that's available to those students. So they would have fun connecting the dots and drawing the boxes or lines or whatever it's supposed to be, but they're actually learning motor skills. They're actually learning some simple coding skills, and they're making some decisions that will help them as they, get more and more involved. That'll just become part of their everyday thinking process. So that's a great takeaway for these various fun activities. They're actually learning something while they're going along. We've added a number of content. We know that coding is really important. We also know that learning simple coding structure helps with that mind development, but not in a typing or a really complex way. These are for introductory coding activities for the youngest folks. And so we have that throughout all the different content bundles. And we also have a very specific module you can get that just focuses on coding called RoboGarden. We also have a number of books in all the different ways that kids like to read them, interact with them, play with them. And so we have books that are not only read to you, you can just read on your own, but they're also interactive. So that's a really nice feature to have along with your other ways that you've got with your Libby collection and all that other ways that kids can get books and learning to read. This is a way that's built into that they discover on their own. They can interact with it, and it's actually kind of fun to have in there. And there's a lot of name recognition brands in there, as well as abilities for the kid to do all different types of interaction with that book while they have that book open. They're not making a selection of one format or the other as they go along. And if your kids are like mine are all grown now, but they often don't know how to do handwriting, how to use cursive. and all that. So there is a lot of like fun art-based activities for them to learn those basic things, and then starting to put words together and the meaning and how the word sounds and all the different phonics and all the other things that kind of come along with it while they're playing along. I had mentioned earlier about the ability to customize the themes or customize the experience, or in the education space, personal education plans, or PEPs as they call it. We've had this in for a long period of time with all the various versions. So if you're familiar with our services, you can do this, and you maybe have done this. But the primary use and value in my mind for a library space is the educational feature that ties this service into your existing programming, and when you want it to tie into the existing program. So how this works basically is that it lists all the items you have in your collection, that, and this is done through the administrative site, so then it'll display for the kids, is that you'd access the administrative side of the workstation and make some filtered selections on what kind of subject categories and what age ranges and what languages based on what configuration that you have. Many libraries in Wisconsin have the English and the Spanish from ages 2 to 12. And so you can make those decisions and then select specific software titles to display based on a schedule that you have that's related to your marketing calendar. So if you have a marketing or activities calendar that's focused on various times over the quarter or the half year, or the most obvious one is summer reading, you could tie your summer themes to the software that's built in here, or vice versa, and then make those a focused feature for that period of time on the screen. So we were going to activate this small collection here, and there were these 3 titles that were selected, and you wanted it to run for a few days. You could set that, and then on those days, the only thing the user would see would be those titles. So these titles would go away. These titles would be revealed on the screen to be able to focus the energy in as you want to. And again, a new feature of version 4 is that you can schedule that on a day-by-day basis. That's kind of a cool feature. This was suggested by a customer, so this is a really great innovation of that feedback. You also have the ability, and I did a Taco Tuesday on this a few months back, that if you have your workstation attached to the internet, you have the ability to not only connect your workstations to that administrative customer panel so you can get statistics from your desk if you're not right there at the computer or the workstation itself, but also you can activate some bonus content that's built in for your users. We defaulted off simply because many libraries choose to not to be on the internet. But if you're on the internet, you can be just for the administrators, or you can also add that internet access for the user. And you have the ability to activate these additional safe websites that we've curated, like Air and Space Museum is an example. There's some history sections in there. There's things about animals in there, and there's more supportive content all around STEAM education for those kids, but it's the actual website. But we've locked the website down so they can't leave that website, and the full website content and interaction is consumed within the screen of the workstation. So they're not going around or getting lost or going places that may be inappropriate for a 6-year-old to see. So you can enable that and make that available for them. And then it would just be another menu on their option on their menu slide. And so when they make that activation, it shows up as an option. They can select the website, and they can open up the website and have full access within that website to just double, triple, quadruple the amount of information you're sharing with those kids. Again, all about helping them discover and create that experience for themselves to build that confidence. So that is the basics of what I wanted to cover for this session. I think I'm on this right time and schedule, Jeff, here. And so I wanted to make sure if there's questions, I can cover them, or just, again, thank everybody for their long-term use of AWE learning services in the library. Their trust in me to be able to help them and provide value in discussing what's the right combinations, or how to leap a really old workstation that might be working still into 2025, 2026, and help them with all those various nuts and bolts for the curation side, as well as the financial side of how to help them with funding and finding grants and responding with grant terminology as needed, all those different things to support their activity.
Thank you again for joining us, Brad. I always love to see the cool new things that you're doing with the stations. In particular, it's always I mean, I know you think it's cool. I think it's cool too when you get feedback from a library or from a user, and then figure out, oh yeah, that is a great idea. Let's figure out how to incorporate that into the next version or into an update. So it's
Yeah.
so great that AWE learning is so responsive to that kind of thing.
Yeah. One of the coolest things about that, Jeff, that we've learned in this whole process, and we had these great discussions at ALA and all these other places and so on, is that a lot of children's services folks value the fact that these workstations are standalone and they're perpetual unlimited use. And they oftentimes have them close to, or the public computers, or they have it in their own space so the kids can have free reign on doing what they need to do. But they also don't have those like mixed messages from the openness that a library offers for the public computers, for the the middle schoolers, high schoolers, and then adults that are in a totally different place when it comes to digital intelligence and using the computers in a constructive way. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
that makes really good sense. I hadn't thought of it that way, Brad. But if you're there, particularly you say you've got a family or something, and an older kid, the little kid wants to be able to use the computer too, right? And I think
Yeah.
that kind of reinforces the experience that the library is for everybody, for all
Yep.
ages. That the younger user can kind of do the same things that they see their older peers doing without fear that they may be wandering into areas that you don't want them to see, right?
And it's peace of mind for the family and the librarian
Right.
that they know
Yeah.
that it's cool. And if they have a child who's 4 years old, who's advanced, they can go farther, but not too far.
Right.
Whereas you might have a 10 or 11-year-old that needs a little push from the academic learning standpoint or has some challenges. They know that they have that bandwidth to be able to offer that to them. And that's another great reason that those ELF links that have that extra website stuff, it's a safe place for them to explore and feel like they're just like every other kid.
Right. That's amazing. Wow. Brad, every time you're here, you show me something I hadn't seen before, or highlight some aspect that hadn't even occurred to me. So I'm so glad
Nice.
that you came today.
Pleasure to do it.
Well, it's always a pleasure to have you. We will be getting ready to recruit presenters for the new year of Taco Tuesdays. So I hope I'll be hearing from you again real soon.
Yeah, no problem.
Um, So, with that said, thank you to all of our presenters. Brad, Nikki, and Katie all joined us today to show off some of the great things that their companies have to offer our members. I hope you learned something. I know that I definitely did. Thank you to those of you watching, those of you who are here live, and anybody who might be catching this on the recording. I hope that you will join us for our next Taco Tuesday, which is actually only 1 week away. We normally go every other week, but when it gets to holiday season, we have to move things around to make sure everything fits. So we will be having another Taco Tuesday on December 2nd. I hope that you'll join us for that. And keep your eyes out for announcements shortly into the new year of what our next slate of Taco Tuesdays will have to offer. Thanks again to everyone who has joined us. I hope if you do celebrate that you have a nice Thanksgiving holiday, and maybe if you're lucky enough, a long weekend. Take care and have a great day.